So you're in a hurry? Well, you better calm down. 'Cause we're all friends around you, just join the fun. 'Cause if you're in a hurry, you're missing the point. You should enjoy the fruits of life instead of chasing coins. Because oh, it's a beautiful day.
I've been a Royal Enfield rider since 1999. You know, everybody had motorcycles, but not everybody knew what a Royal Enfield was, so I sort of delved into the history of the brand and became fascinated with it, learning more about the evolution of the brand throughout England and how it, you know, flourished in India. One of my favorite things about old motorcycles, and I think the Interceptor plays this so well, is that one of the golden ages of motorcycling was definitely the 1960s, and no place would embody that as good as California. The surf scene, the beach parties, the hot rod culture. What else could you ask for? Thanks for coming out this morning.
Thanks, man. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for letting me steal your new Interceptor.
I can't wait to see what you think about it.
Yeah, it was so far it was a lot of fun just cruising over here on it. But where did your fascination with the Interceptors come?
So I got my first Interceptor probably 15 or 16 years ago. The very first time I rode it, I knew that it was something special. Even for its day, it was such a different character than any other motorcycle out there. It was a big motor, but it wasn't all about speed, it was about usable power. I really want to see the comparison between what they've done with the new motor, and it's got to be miles ahead of the old one, but I really hope that some of that DNA is still in there.
Yeah, well, so perfect chance to really get on this bike, have some fun.
We're going to put it through its paces for sure.
Cool. Right on.
Right on.
If you're in a hurry, you're missing the point. You should enjoy the fruits of life instead of chasing coins.
What did you think about the ride?
That was amazing. The roads are great. The bike's running really good. What do you think of your new bike?
That was awesome.
You gotta admit, man, especially coming through the tunnels, the sound on that is amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
Yours does too. It got a little loud in there.
A little thunderous.
I noticed that I was kind of pulling away from you in some sections. So,
yeah, that was cute.
Ton of fun. Hitting a corner, you just want to push the bike more and more, and it gives you the confidence that you want to do so.
We've reached a point in motorcycling where you can buy so much performance for relatively so little money, but we've also forgotten sometimes that simple is also fun, but I like to be able to see where I'm going and smell things.
Royal Enfields were always interesting. They were really well engineered, beautifully styled, simple, fun motorcycling. And there's just something about the new ones where inspiration has been taken. More than anything though, they're just wonderful motorcycles to ride. Cafe racer scene came about in the early 1960s. Motorcyclists meeting at transport cafes would strip down their bikes and race with their mates.
They were originally built by people that couldn't afford to go and buy a works race bike and wanted to build something out of parts to create a bike that gave them the performance and the excitement and the thrill that they wanted.
Then production cafe racers came along with the Royal Enfield Continental GT.
The original Continental GT 250 was the bike that people back in the 60s, especially youngsters, really hankered after. It was the #1 youngsters motorcycle of its day. And when we did the 535, we created a great handling little motorcycle that I think captured a lot of the essence of what the 250 had.
Royal Enfield wanted to make sure that the GT 535 was authentic to the history of machines they'd made in the past. It had the look and the riding position and the feel of a single-cylinder air-cooled engine, but it was always envisioned that it was a motorcycle that people could customise, could make their own. And that's still very much the case with the 650 Twin GT.
We looked at GT and what made that cool about those products that people really loved. Something that was instantly fun. We didn't want to do something that was intimidating or overbearing. It wanted to be something that just naturally felt good to get on a ride. And so this product, we've taken the great bits from the 535, we've added in this fantastic new engine and evolved the whole thing. You know, this is a completely brand new product, a complete step change. For us, it was really important that this had a grounding in our past, it had an element of history in it, but also something that is a modern motorcycle that was right for today.
This third generation takes it to a completely different level. The engine is really smooth, but it's got a lot of torque still. It hasn't lost that. The acceleration isn't linear. You've got an oomph with it. The handling is superb.
Rider experience was very much at the core of what we were trying to achieve. You know, we really wanted to create a bike that gave a real involvement and engagement to the consumer. Changes direction beautifully, it's very agile, very nimble, feels very responsive to your inputs, and that makes it confidence inspiring for the less experienced rider, but also really rewarding for the more experienced rider.
The basics are all there. It's a great motorcycle to ride, but it's something that you can further make your own.
Trying to capture that simple joy that you get from being on a good bike on a great road, really enjoying the moment and living in the moment. That's what these bikes are all about. So Royal Enfield's all about authenticity. You know, all the products we create are authentic and honest in what they do. And the Twin has been something that the company's been talking about for an awful long time now.
For us, this new project, the 650 Twin, has been an absolute dream for years, maybe even over a decade. The parallel twin, firstly, it's absolutely part of our heritage and our pedigree. It comes in from a rebirth of what we already have in our heritage.
And so once the decision was made to go to twin, we started looking at what can we draw inspiration from in our past, what are people asking for in the market today.
The classic 350 and the motorcycles before that, they have a thump which is so identifiable and so close to people's hearts. But that wasn't the idea. You don't replicate a single in a twin. you do what's right for the twin.
We knew that people really liked the sound of the singles and the feeling of torque and low RPM, very flexible power delivery. So those are qualities that we then said, okay, these are what we really want to highlight as developmental objectives for the twin.
Early on in the projects, we built 3 prototype engines and we tried all 3 to see how they compare to each other. And everybody felt that the 270-degree crank gave the most character.
The general configuration of the engine was targeted to still give some of that typical Royal Enfield character.
Most powerful engine in Royal Enfield, and it has a 270-degree firing angle, so it has a distinct beat.
Yeah, the first time I heard the 650 running, I was really impressed.
So yeah, the 650 twin of course has an absolutely special and unique sound, but I wouldn't call it a thump as much as a rumble.
By focusing on the torque, got a nice broad spread of power that allows you to, from very low in the RPM range, kind of,
The air-cooled engine just seemed the right thing to do. It's just right, you just look at it and it's not cluttered with, water hoses and water pumps, and we haven't had to worry about trying to hide expansion tanks and all of that stuff, and it just makes the bike purer. It makes the bike just look and feel more correct. We put that in the design brief, That's what we wrote, make it more correct.
You'd be amazed to know how many people are just waiting for the twins. And this is not a wait of a few months. It's taken that long for us to be able to present something absolutely ground up, all new, not because of what the media has been conjecturing, etc. This is a wait for over decades.
I think people are going to be quite surprised, actually. I don't think people expect that from Royal Enfield. And I think something with, this extra go, this extra agility and nimbleness, I think that's going to surprise people. I think it's going to kind of really announce the continuation of that renaissance.
So at Royal Enfield, we try not to do too much. We try and do a few things, but we want to do them exceptionally well. We're not about super fast motorcycles, we're not about heavy cruisers, we're not about a lot of things. We're about simple, old school, great fun motorcycles. And for us, this new project, the 650 Twin, has been an absolute dream for years, maybe even over a decade.
I think what it ushers in is a new rallying cry of what Royal Enfield will be in the future, which is going to be the next generation.
So these are Royal Enfield's first twin-cylinder motorcycles in a very long time. The GT 650 Twin and the Interceptor 650 Twin that has true highway capability, exciting handling.
And we wanted to create something that was agile and nimble and quick steering and have fun on. They feel really fun. They're really great fun to throw around.
It's a difficult question to answer from an engineering perspective. Trying to interpret what product strategy you see as fun, then that is quite a big challenge because it's an all-encompassing word. This is a bit of a first for Royal Enfield as a company, and it has to have that Royal Enfield character, be a little bit different.
So the Interceptor has a more upright ride position. It's more like a roadster style. And the GT is an authentic cafe racer, so it's got kind of that more tucked in and leaned over riding position.
Yeah, so we put a lot of time and energy in making sure that this is a very accessible motorcycle.
It's a step change, isn't it, in terms of performance for Royal Enfields in the modern era, and we need to make sure that we give them that level of performance, but it's not too intimidating and it's approachable.
These bikes have to work all around the world in every market. So the way somebody rides a motorcycle in the UK and India is very, very different.
For me, the development of the Twins has truly been cross-cultural, cross-skill, a truly global endeavor.
We've got people from Japan, from Europe, we've got experts from around the world who are working at Royal Enfield now.
And there's a frequent data sharing which happens on almost daily basis.
We take all those inputs and have to try and create all that into one single motorcycle.
We've had an extended development program for these motorcycles.
It's been a big project, and it's gone through many, many stages.
They are iterative changes that you go through step by step. The bike becomes more production representative.
I think the biggest challenge for us was developing the motorcycle to meet the performance and quality levels that we wanted to achieve.
The way we've tested all through the validation process, we've torture tested the platform across various terrains, whether it's Spain, UK, India.
And we're testing those well over 1 million kilometers and hundreds of motorcycles on roads, on test rigs, in part rigs.
We test it indoors, we test it outdoors and ensure that bike is fit and it gives a customer delight.
Yeah, there has been some good step changes along the way.
One of the best parts about the job is, you get to go out there and try and break everything. Try and make it do something wrong, so then we've got something to improve.
That's the sort of extremes we go to. It covers all bases of rider level and experience.
The standout part is the chassis is just a really nice, fun motorcycle to ride.
They're powerful, they handle, they perform beautifully, but they're also very accessible, very easy.
This is absolutely the most fun motorcycle in the entire world, and I've been riding a lot.
To make a motorcycle, go around a corner and put a smile on your face, that is something that you can do from an engineering perspective. Make it handle well, make it feel good, make it have good feedback from the road, and that generally as a rider puts a smile on your face. And I think this bike is a great fun bike to ride.
When you were gearing up to be comfortable with the words largest manufacturer of mid-sized motorcycles in the world, you lean on past learnings to make it happen. It's been our experience that each of our plants has informed the new one in the works. Everyone is using robots nowadays, but a Royal Enfield is built as much from a shared sense of ownership. Of course, in things like machining, fabrication, painting, we don't veer beyond a certain micron, and the best firms in the world are in the facility to ensure it. What's also working for us is that the people manning the machinery can pinpoint which of our motorcycles is gunning down the road just from their engine note. Quality and its measurement is on every line, every section throughout our works. Engine assembly is the sanctum. It has to be. There is no room for variables, no way in for a speck of dust. We punch well above our weight in chroming, pre-treating steel parts for chroming. Our chrome layer goes over 4 of nickel, unique in the industry. Painting. The part becomes a cathode and the base layer is applied through electrodeposition. In layman terms, it sticks on stronger, which makes it tougher, more corrosion resistant. Decorative coats involve robotic arms, all from names in their field. We like to say, we don't put out 30 unique shades, we finnick them out. That said, the Bullet, since the day it first rolled out in 1932, still has its stripes hand-painted. Today, a future-minded view of manufacture is only prudent. And yes, while every automated process is recorded, second to second. And every Royal Enfield put to a 70-point pre-delivery inspection. What also bears telling is that the man who listens to their output has been in his job 19 years. This operation has never been about making a motorcycle any which way. This machine comes from a culture, from knowing it, from riding it, and from all of it being deeply ingrained through 7 decades in one town. That's the Royal Enfield difference. That's the Royal Enfield way.
Royal Enfield invites you on a journey to witness the world's longest enduring legacy in motorcycling. From its humble needle-making origins, the company graduated to manufacturing bicycles. In 1893, a prestigious order was won to supply precision parts to the Royal Small Arms factory of Enfield. In celebration, the latest range of bicycles were called Royal Enfield. Not long after, the first Royal Enfield motorcycle was unveiled to the world. In 1926, a major fire broke out at the 18-acre Redditch factory, the plant being saved only by the decisive action of the company's in-house fire brigade. Production continued, and soon after, in 1932, the company gave birth to the iconic Bullet, an up-to-date, versatile Royal Enfield of its time. During World War II, Royal Enfield designed the world's first airborne motorcycle. Almost 8,000 flying fleas were made, with many being dropped at the Battle of Arnhem and the D-Day invasion. The innovation continued apace after the war, with Royal Enfield pioneering the first British motorcycle with swinging arm rear suspension, paving the way for the 500 Twin and a dynasty of Royal Enfield twins. Royal Enfield's close association with India was first forged in 1952, when Madras Motors received an order for 800 350cc bullets from the Indian Army. This was quickly followed by the founding of Enfield India in 1955. In 1964, the iconic 250cc Continental GT Cafe Racer was launched to great acclaim. The closing of the Redditch factory in 1967 was the end of an era, but production of the 736cc Interceptor continued at the Westwood Underground factory. Aisha Motors acquired Enfield India in 1994, and the company re-established itself as Royal Enfield Motors Limited. In 2008, the retro-styled Classic was introduced, complete with a new fuel-injected 500cc unit construction engine. The Classic rapidly acquired cult status when it became available in the home market, and sales grew exponentially. The global expansion continued with the opening in 2013 of a new state-of-the-art facility in Oragadam near Chennai. Amongst the first motorcycles to roll off the production line was the all-new Continental GT Cafe Racer. After traversing the highest roads and deepest valleys in the Himalayas for more than 5 decades, Royal Enfield debuted its first purpose-built adventure motorcycle, the Himalayan. With the addition of a third manufacturing facility at Vallam Vadagal, Chennai, Royal Enfield is poised to reach 825,000 motorcycles per annum by the end of 2018. Meanwhile, a firm foothold is maintained in the UK, with a technical centre at Bruntingthorpe adding global strength to our design and development. Years of extensive research, development and testing has resulted in Royal Enfield's most eagerly anticipated new engine, a Twin. With the rebirth of the Twin, the company continues to build on a legacy that has stood the test of time and continues to inspire riders with machines that provide pure motorcycling fun.